Welcome to Being Anxiety Free. My name is Emma Upton and I'm here to spill all the tea on what it means to choose a life where we get to be free. Without anxiety, we learn who we're here to be, what we're here to do, and then our unique body of work that is locked inside the codes of our DNA, that gets to just flow through and we get to feel free. So join me for today's episode. Cheers. 28. I want to talk about wearing the rainbow. I met my husband when I was 16. That's really little, isn't it? God, we are both literally different people. And I'm so grateful for him. But he always jokes, so before you met me, all you did was wear black. And it was true. I think it was my attempt to hide away. I don't know. Some people who wear black, they rock it. Like, this isn't, you have to wear the rainbow to be your fully expressed self. But I shied away from showing up in everything that I wanted to be. And I realized a lot of it had to do with what other people thought. And being concerned about what the world had to say about me, that was a huge piece. I always wanted to be perceived as good, as nice, as great, as hot. And there are certain standards by certain people, and I was dead keen on meeting those standards. Like, I prioritized that above and beyond everything else. So looking a certain way was really important to me, and that was down to my diet, my workouts, my clothes. All of those things were really, really important. And then I started to realize the way that I was doing life wasn't helpful to me. Cool. I didn't really know what to do about it, so I just went harder in on all of the things. And what did happen is I could verbalize what was wrong with me quite efficiently. I could tell you why I was the way that I was. I could explain all the behaviors, all the things that were happening to me, all the things that I was choosing to do and sabotaging myself. I could see what I was doing and I'm like, but what? I'm just like, I don't want to. And now I'm still continuing in those destructive behaviors. And now I just feel really bad because I can see myself doing it. At least at the beginning of this, I was just blind. And then I created this knowledge bank of like, oh, this ain't working, and now I know about it, and now I don't know what to do about it. And I tried, if you know my story, you know I tried the more Western approaches that just gave me the knowledge, kept me in here, made me realise I was a problem and didn't know what to do about it. I also went fully Eastern, because that's what I do. I'm very extreme in what I do. I'm always seeking this middle path of magic. So then I went all in Eastern. I'm like, let me learn about all the religions. Let me meditate and work with all of the masters, and I'd seek them out and I'd sit with them and I'd learn all that. I learned so much, like that time in my life. I'm so grateful for, because it's all the same thing pretty much. Just in different ways and different access points. So it was amazing, but I didn't transform. This is what I got to a point where it's like, it's better. It's all right. Like, I'm kind of here for it. But I was like, I don't want this to be I want more. I want mind-blowing, incomprehensibly magical more, please. And those roots weren't giving it to me. I was like, right. So my black attire, fitting in, really concerned about what everybody else has got to think and say about me, be above and beyond myself. That's where I was. I was like, there's got to be a different way. So the story of how the formula came into being. So the FIND formula is 7 steps. These medleys of all the things that I was learning, they came down to, they were saying the same 7 things over and over again. I was like, okay, so the West and the East, if we combine it and we put those 7 things together, like, it's that. So how do I remember and keep doing that? Because that's obviously what's going to change my life. But my brain is such a menace. Just holding myself accountable to doing that, you're asking a lot, especially because our brain, the literal wiring of our brain, means that we don't want to do that. So we consciously think that we want change, but the brain is like, yeah, but I'm already really firmly routed in neurology. That's what's gone before. And you want to change that? the energy that takes, the literal energy. There are tests on sugar levels and how they just drop because when you're doing this kind of work, when you truly want to transform and you have to want it, I was like, I don't have that in me. Like, I want to change, but there are nuances, there are things that are hidden from me that I can't see. Like, how do I do this? Now, the first time that I had this realization was when I was just I'd been beating myself up. Like, why aren't you doing better? Like, you can see all the challenges. When you've got children, when you're a mama, and you can see what you're doing to your children, but you don't feel in control enough to not do that, that is the most painful. It makes me emotional. It's the most painful kind of torture that you could, like, I was in that. I'm like, I'm being the parent that I didn't want, but I'm being the opposite. Okay, so I had this and now I'm doing, like, I don't know how to do that. And I remember walking into my woods and just about getting into the woods, and I'm hoping that I can bring some of you to my woods. I don't know how it's going to work, but I will show you the point. And there's the most glorious tree next to it as well. And it was like I crossed this threshold and I just fell to my knees and burst into tears. And not just like a little bit of a cry, like hands and knees, sobbing. If somebody had walked past me in the woods, they would have intervened. Like, they'd have thought that I was having some kind of fit or something. I wasn't. It was just this overriding emotion of, I can't keep doing this. I don't want to keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. And it was in that moment, that extreme emotion of just, what the fuck? This can't be my life. I want it to be different. I'm showing up, I'm choosing, I'm doing all the things, but it's the same thing and I don't know how to do it differently. It was like I was just submerged in these colours and these different scents, and I could see in a different way for the first time. And that was the first hint of what the Fine Formula came to be. And I'm going to be doing a new Fine Formula soon. Not new, but a different, like, everything expands, isn't it? So we're going to be doing that. And it was the first time I was like, oh, there's a different way to doing this. I don't need to rely on my brain to push and push and push me into a different way of being. I don't need to lean back and let the universe just hold me and take care of it, because I knew that wasn't going to be it either. It was creating this colourful, and here they are. Here are all the characters from it that live with me in my office now. She's just the star of it all. It was this colourful creation of how each of these, there's 7 elements, each of these represents something. One of those 7 foundational elements that people who have mastered their mind, they're able to do. If you master your mind, you master your life, you master your business. Like, that's it. Because the codes are locked in you. You already know. And the mastery of you getting them out into the world comes from the mastery of your mind, because your mind is like a code blocker to it all. These 7 elements, when we apply them to our life consistently, it shifts those code blockers out the way and your codes can come through. Mine was the Fine Formula. Mine was how to do this work, but yours is something really different and something really unique. And it's so exciting to me when I meet people. I'm like, what's yours? Let's go. These 7 elements, by having characters and having colours and having a day of the week and having a sensory experience embodied around it, meant I was keeping this work, these 7 fundamental areas, alive all of the time. I know that today is Friday, so it's calling me, and here's my buffalo stone. This is like, you can't make it up, the blue buffalo stone for Feel It Friday, which is also blue, centered around this babes. I can keep that idea alive that, like, oh, my instinct is to be a coward. I want to be a cow. I want to run away. I want to hide if something's uncomfortable. I don't want to face it. I don't want the discomfort of it. She teaches me, remember when you feel that resistance, your job is not to be the coward. The cow's in the storm. If there's a storm, the cows run with the storm, and the storm is just like following them. They're like, oh my God, it's so awful. Like, having a panic attack. Like, that's me. I spent 30 years running with the storm, getting rained on, being terrified, being like, I don't want it. Now, what does the buffalo do? She sees the exact same storm. You don't get to change the storm. Human experience is human experience. She sees the storm and she's like, I've got this. Let's freaking go. And she moves towards the storm. Because why does she move towards the storm? Because then she's through it. She's on the other side of it. Now, I forget to be the buffalo because I have 30 years of conditioning to take the easy way out, to try and find the way out that I can cause the least upset and be the least trouble and pacify everybody else. Like, I'm always trying to find the way that I don't show up as who I am, and I have to remind myself, and she helps me. So every Friday I am just in the zone of like, where do I get to be that? Where do I get to show up as that? This morning is the perfect example. I'm going away for the weekend, which is really exciting, with my friends. I got a lot to do. I decided yesterday, and like later, 6 o'clock in the evening, that I was going to do a masterclass. I was going to do a free masterclass in my free Facebook group because I have lots of amazing people join recently. I'm like, I want to give back. I want you to know that this is a space where you can be everything that you're meant to be, and we get to do it and co-create it together. Like, I want to do that for people. Well, I haven't packed yet. I'm here doing my podcast. I'm going to be jumping on to do that in less than 10 minutes. I've got other work to do. I've got babies. I've got a husband. Like, I've got all of these things. The cow in me wants to be like, oh, that's a lot. I'm just going to stay in bed and let my alarm go off whenever it goes off, and then just fall into the day and see what the best I can do is. The buffalo is like, let's freaking go. Let's get up at 5 o'clock. Let's get all those jobs done. So when the babes get up, you can have your breakfast and you can be with your babes. You can time it just so you can do your live before, so it can download whilst you're doing the free masterclass. And then you're going to have about half an hour to get your shit together to go away. I'm probably going to look like a homeless person tonight and tomorrow when we're going out. And I haven't washed my hair. That was on the agenda. That didn't get done. But I've prioritised everything that I wanted. I've been the buffalo this morning. And let's go. Let's go. That, when we have this sensory experience around us, if it was Friday, would I still be doing that? Yes. Because I have built the muscle of this. I've taught my brain now for long enough that this is how we do life now, whether it's Friday, whether it's Monday, whether it's Sunday, whatever it is, and it ebbs and it flows. And the buffalo, some days she looks like, this is too much, and I know the next 2 days are going to be me not being on. It's going to be me. We're getting takeaway. It's a group of 8 women together. We get to support and nurture each other and take care of each other like boys don't really know how to. It's going to be me being off, so I've got this balance. So yes, I can be that extreme buffalo yesterday and today, and then tomorrow I'm going to be coming into the middle again because we're going to Christmas fairs, we're going ice skating, like, we're having a time. Just because it's Friday doesn't mean that it's balance in all of it, but because I have this rainbow that follows me through everything, I can remember and I can keep it all alive. So I don't wear black anymore. She says that she's got black trousers on. Oh, the irony. I love wearing the rainbow. I love having scents around me. I love thinking about, like, my hats, the joy that they give me. Yes, because colour brings lightness to our life, and I think that's really important. But more importantly, because it reminds my brain not to go back to the spaces that it most naturally wants to go to still. It reminds me to stay on track, to create the life that I'm here to create, because that requires more. And this allows me to step into my more as often as humanly possible, whilst remembering we are still humans and perfect does not exist. So, happy Feeling Friday. Go out there and wear all of your blues. Much love.